What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. So today we're going to be talking about Ohtani. I'm going to break down everything that's going on and what I think really happened. But first, we had a big move that happened. Stefon Diggs has been traded to the Houston Texans. Bill sent him to the Houston Texans. In exchange, they get back a second-round pick in 2025 via the Minnesota Vikings. So Diggs is obviously a great receiver. He has had at least 100 catches in 4 straight seasons, has had over 1,100 yards in each of those seasons. He's had at least 8 touchdowns in each of those seasons. So he's had at least 100 catches, at least 1,100 yards, and at least 8 touchdowns in 4 straight years. Every year he's been with the Buffalo Bills. But he's obviously been a little bit disgruntled in recent years. You know, obviously after they lost to the Bengals in the second round 2 years ago, he sent out, he was all over social media. Well, on the field, he appeared to be not happy with Josh Allen, and on social media, like a few days later, he was saying, how he was pissed off that he kept losing him in the second round of the playoffs, and there was drama. Like, he just, didn't, there's rumors he didn't want to be there, he wasn't showing up to camp, and Josh Allen was trying to say, it was overblown, blah, blah, blah. Then the season happens, and he had a tiny bit of a down year. And then, obviously, they lose him second round again to Kansas City again. Obviously, throughout the year, there was, his brother, Trayvon Diggs, the corner for the Cowboys, who was hurt this year for most of the season, was, on social media kind of bashing Josh Allen, saying the only reason he's good is because of his brother, Stefon. And now he's been traded to the Houston Texans. So I think it's a good move for the Houston Texans. I've been saying, people should be a little bit careful about trading for Diggs. Whenever you have a disgruntled star player, people don't realize if they're not happy right now, what to say they'll be happy just because they get traded. You never know. Maybe they get traded. Like, oh wait, I actually don't like where they go. You never know. But he goes to it. He gets off a team that he clearly wasn't happy with, and he now goes to a really good young team in the Houston Texans that just won the AFC South. Obviously, have an extremely good young core led by superstar young quarterback and C.J. Stroud, who's going into only his second year in the league. Now you have him, Nico Collins, and Tank down that receiver room, plus you re-sign Dalton Schultz. That is a crazy good set of weapons for C.J. Stroud, and plus you got, I think they signed the back, I forget, there's so many running back moves. They signed somebody, I think Damian Pierce is still there. You got a pretty good defense, obviously a great young coach, and D'Amico Ryan, his coordinators came back, including the offensive coordinator, Bobby Slowick. So Houston should win that division without much of an issue. No, Jacksonville should be pretty good. Indianapolis should be competitive. We'll see what happens with Anthony Richardson. Tennessee, I don't think it's going to be very good, but that's a competitive division. But to me, Houston is significantly better, and they just won 10 games, and they won a playoff game last year. We actually have a mic request. It is RedBox. Well, I have not talked to him in a while, but RedBox is going to come on the mic. I'm going to put my phone on top of the mic here, so I don't have to hold it. RedBox, how are you?
I'm good. It's been a while.
It really has, man. How have you been?
Pretty good. I mean, I guess we've been chatting in the group chat, the fantasy basketball group chat a little bit, which I'm in the semifinals of, by the way. I'm not winning.
Nice. All right.
I'm losing 8-4 now.
All right.
But I don't think I'm gonna. But you know what? That means I'm in the money. Fourth place, $35.
Exactly. There you go.
So I'll take it. I paid $25. I paid $25 to get in. So as long as I'm making something.
Exactly.
Oh man, so much going on right now.
So my main topic today is Ohtani, but the Stefon Diggs trade dropped like 5 minutes before I went live, so I was like, I gotta talk about this.
Oh, Stefon Diggs to Houston?
Yes.
Yeah, that's huge.
Big move for Houston.
That team is, I mean, if they weren't already a Super Bowl contender last season, watch out now.
Yeah, they look frightening. Like that receiver room is crazy.
It's absolutely insane, and that team, that's a team that can be developed too. They're nowhere near their peak, and
they're very young.
There's still lots of places that team can go. I mean, this potential is endless for the Texans right now.
Yeah, they should win that division, no problem. And now you look at the AFC, you think of the top contenders, obviously the Kansas City Chiefs. Think, could the Bengals get back up there now? They're healthy. Maybe Baltimore. You know, and then Houston's got to be right there because they are really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs, we'll see what happens with them. I actually don't think they're going to be as good next season. I mean, they got Mahomes, obviously, but the rest of that team, I mean, Kelsey was kind of up and down last season, but he
Getting
turned
a little
up in the
older.
playoffs.
I mean, now their best receiver, Rasheed Rice, might not. I don't know what's going on with him. He's crashing cars now. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, Cincinnati. I'm liking what they're doing. They're gonna be good next season. Baltimore, who knows?
Yeah, I mean they lost some pieces, but they should still be good at least, I would think.
Who knows with them? Honestly, you can never really tell where they're gonna go.
Yeah, like, you know, it's weird because like they're still a very, very good team, but you look at the Bengals, like, wait, are they even the best team in their own division? So they'll be in the picture, but I'm not sure if like this past year they had the best record in the league. I don't know if they'll be that good.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
But yeah, Houston Texans get Stefon Diggs. That's a huge move for them, and then you wonder like, what do the Bills do? Because you got Josh Allen, so you can't like tear it all apart. You really don't really have any receivers because you lost Gabe Davis in free agency. The only guy you already have there is Khalil Shakir, who I do like, but I'm not sure if he's a one because he hasn't shown it.
Like even 2 years ago, the Bills, people were talking about a Bills Super Bowl.
Yeah.
This season, I mean, it was Diggs and Allen.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say the real Josh Allen plays in Jacksonville.
I will say, like, Josh Allen, he's slowly becoming a little bit overrated, just because of obviously because of the turnovers. He's still a great quarterback. He's still one of the 5 or 6 best quarterbacks in football. That's not up for debate. That's just a fact. But you look at the team, it's just like, I don't believe in the coach. They don't have even I don't even know if they have a receiver 2 on their team. And they finally have a running game finally, but the offensive line isn't anything spectacular. Even the defense, they always find they're always hurt. And also they lost a lot of guys on that side of the ball.
And he's not going to be definitely not going to be a number 1 in fantasy next season.
No, he will not. He'll probably still be a goodish quarterback because he runs so much, and he throws the ball far. But just not having Diggs now, that was his vertical threat. I mean, Diggs had over 1,100 yards last year, and that was his lowest since he got there, and he's been there 4 years.
Yeah, but your throwing is only as good as
exactly. So he'll obviously still he'll get the points from the running, but his passing yards, I'm sure he's gonna throw for a lot less yards, which obviously will hurt him in fantasy.
Yeah.
Peter, all right, well, let's shift gears, RedBox. So you're a Red Sox fan, so what are your thoughts? I know they're also a great start. We're still very early, so what are your thoughts so far?
I mean, we manhandled Oakland on Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, that game against Seattle on Saturday night was borderline infuriating. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw your messages in the group chat. I saw you weren't too happy.
No, like it was a pitching matchup the entire game, which is absolutely crazy because the Red Sox have no pitching staff right now. But they like 3-1 up, top of the 10th. I was flying high. It was awesome. And of course, the ghost runner on second. Don't get me started on that.
Oh God, it's a horrible rule.
Leadoff single. As soon as that happened, I knew we were done. As soon as they got the leadoff single, I knew it was over. Yeah,
it's tough with that ghost runner because wait, what's the score tied?
It was 1-1. No, it was 3-1 heading to the bottom of the 10th.
Yeah, you're up by 2. Yeah, the ghost runner is tough. Even if you're up, you gotta be kind of up by like at least 3 runs to feel safe. Because if you're up by 2 runs, and if you get a leadoff guy on, and there's 2 guys on base, one swing of the bat and the game's over.
Yeah, all they need is 2 hits to win the game. It's like
Yeah. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like if you don't score in the top of the 10th inning, it is very difficult to win the game. Like you're almost guaranteed to lose in the bottom of the 10th.
we try things out in the minors for a reason. They
Yeah.
tried this out in the minors, and apparently they liked it. I mean, I guess pace of play, yeah, sure, it helps with that. But how many games go to 10 innings in a given week? Maybe like
A couple.
2 or 3, 4.
Right.
Maybe once a night.
Exactly.
That's not. It's not killing the pace of play.
Yeah, and also like I got it during the pandemic year because that was such a weird year. There was really no spring training, with the COVID, no fans, and that was such a weird year. Only 60 games. There was going to be injuries, so like those like 13, 14, 15 inning games, 16 inning games, I didn't mind. Like, okay, they're trying to crack down and also try and stop injuries. Yeah, teams are with the rosters are going to look very weird. You got like the taxi squad and guys going in and out because of COVID. And at that point, the quarantine was it wasn't like 5 days like it is now because COVID was just getting.
It was never a COVID rule though. It was always meant to be permanent.
Yeah, and like I got it during that season specifically, but once we went back to normal and the full 162 game season, it makes literally zero sense. Not at the major league level. You want to do that in like little league or youth baseball, fine, but don't do it at the major league level.
Yeah, and honestly, all their other pace of play reforms, I've been really happy with them for the most part. This is the only one that really rubbed me the wrong way. Like everyone shits on the pitch clock. I don't know why. It's all the purists shit on the pitch clock.
I was skeptical at first, but it's worked out nicely.
But and again, I think they tried that one out in the minors first too.
They did.
They really liked it in the minors.
Because I think because they thought, okay, if the minor league guys can adapt by like May, the major league guys should adapt by that point, no problem. So they were all right. Let's work out the kinks in spring training. It'll take them a couple weeks to get used to, but once they're used to it, by like May, the players will be used to it. The fans won't even realize that it's there, and that's exactly what happened.
I mean, quite honestly, baseball now has gone from being one of the slowest games. Now I think it might actually be the fastest. I mean,
they saved like 24 minutes per game or something like that last year with the pitch clock.
Now after an hour, we can be in the 5th inning. I'm still not used to that. I'm not. But like that happened on Sunday, I believe it was, with the I think it was the Yankees game. It was an hour in, they were already in the 5th inning. Like, holy shit, like that's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, like I remember like 2 years ago, games were going 3 hours, 3 hours and 10 minutes, 3 hours and 20 minutes. A 9-inning game. Like there'll be times like I could watch a football game, and then the game's over. I'm like, all right, let me just flip through the channels. I'm like, wait, the Mets are still on? They started at the same time as the Jets. Like, what? But now that's not the case with the pitch clock.
Yeah, now the football game is going to still be going on.
Exactly.
And the baseball game's over.
But yeah, the pitch clock I've liked, and for the most part, like I don't really get like the whole thing of like the limited pickoff attempts and like that's kind of stupid.
I don't know. They say it's going to increase injuries to pitchers, and we haven't seen that.
I don't know, like a pickoff throw to first. I haven't seen a pitcher ever get hurt from doing a pickoff move. As someone who played baseball, I was a first baseman, and I pitched a little bit. Never an injury, ever, or there was never. I don't know how you get hurt doing a pickoff move. And look, it's professional sports. It's baseball. Guys are gonna get hurt. Guys are gonna you tweak something. These non-contact things happen, obviously, and sometimes they can be serious. But I have, in all my years of playing baseball and watching baseball at multiple levels, whether it's youth baseball, high school baseball, Major League Baseball, never seen an injury or even something anything close to it on a pickoff move.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm worried about is maybe the base runner diving back into first base, maybe jamming his finger into the base, but the pitcher, I don't know how he would get hurt. He's soft. He's not throwing the ball hard. He's He's 20 feet away.
I think that was I think it was contact with the bases that was the issue with that. But we haven't it's happened maybe once in the last 5 years.
Yeah, and now you can't block the base on a stolen base attempt. So they're trying to increase stolen bases because stolen bases have gone down a lot. I think it went up a little bit last year with the pitch clock, but overall for the last probably 10 years, so stolen bases are becoming a thing of the past. They're trying to, get that back into the game. But is this really the way to do it? You're telling, there have been a few times a base has been stolen, and then as you rewatch the play, I was thinking, if the second baseman was able to block the base, I think he would have been out. Should that be a rule?
Yeah. No, I agree. It's and I thought we did see an increase in stolen bases last year.
Oh no, we definitely did. You're definitely right. We definitely did. I think we did. I think it wasn't the increase they were looking for. It was a slight increase. They were 2 years ago. The amount of stolen bases and the stolen base attempts were really low. And then last year it went up a little bit with the pitch clock, and now they're trying to increase it even more by putting this rule in place. But it's you're
9 days into the season, or 10 days into the season, or no, we're almost 2 weeks now. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Oh no, what? I am not awake today. We're 6 days into.
Yeah, we're about a weekend. We are about a weekend.
I keep forgetting we started on Thursday.
Yeah, it's weird. We start April 1st. We started March 28th. Very early start this year for baseball.
Yeah, I was very annoyed we started on that Thursday because I was in the middle of writing an exam. I mean, I could have stopped to watch it, but I had a paper due the next day that had seen 0% progress. So I could not afford it.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
And I mean, I don't think I missed a whole lot.
Yeah, not really, no.
I still would like to actually sit down and catch an entire Red Sox game. We'll see this afternoon with Oakland, but
yeah, I watched Mets opening day. Then I was gouging my eyes out as that was happening, but I did watch it. And second game I watched part of. Eventually, I was like, all right, this is nauseating. And then the third game I watched most of. Didn't watch the game last night against Detroit because I was out. But yeah, they lost. They gave up 5 runs in the 10th inning. I don't know what you expect to happen.
Yeah, by the time the Red Sox game started last night, I had just finished poker. The weed was wearing off. I'm like, no.
I'm good. Oh my goodness.
There's been new developments with this Ohtani thing again?
Not really new, but when it happened, I talked about it, but I didn't go through every single detail because I actually didn't know every single detail. But last night, I literally read through the article that ESPN published, and I literally went through everything, and also I want to talk about literally everything that happened.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm interested in your take on this, so let's jump into that.
All right, sounds good. Cool. All right, so Ippi Mizuhara is was the interpreter for Shohei Ohtani. He was also very close friends with Ohtani. He had been his interpreter since Ohtani came to the United States to play baseball in 2018. So for 6 years, they became very, very close. He was his interpreter. He was always in the dugout with him. He was, when he would talk to coaches and players and the media, he would run errands for Ohtani. Ohtani's teammates, said they were basically brothers. They were very, very close friends. But so originally we said, it came out that Mizuhara stole a lot of money from Ohtani, which is why he was fired. And Ohtani said he was a victim of massive theft. We were thinking, what a freaking idiot this guy Mizuhara is. But then as you read, you're like, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. So Mizuhara was fired for performing a $4.5 million wire transfer from Ohtani's bank account. So Mizuhara has a gambling addiction. A very, very bad gambling addiction. But before we get into it, if you have a gambling addiction, there's people that can help you. Only gamble what you can afford. But, Mizuhara is linked to a bookmaking operation, like bookmakers are people who, like, you know, run the sports books and stuff, in Southern California that is under federal investigation. Mizuhara did not realize that. He thought this was completely legal. He didn't realize, oh, wait, first of all, gambling is illegal in California. I know it's legal in most states. You see all these sports leagues are partnering with them.
It's still illegal in California?
It is still illegal. There are government-regulated ones in California. Those you have to pay up front. The illegal ones let you pay on credit, like normal bets. But that's why. But in California,
I thought sports betting was legal in California.
it is not. Like I said, there's some sports books that are regulated by the government, so you can bet that way. But yeah, you have to pay up front. The ones that you pay on credit in California, like a normal sports book, those are illegal in California. Most places they are not. It's California, guys. Let's not act so surprised. It's California. They're always trying to do their own thing, and usually that does not work.
I guess so.
But so originally a spokesperson from ESPN said that Ohtani had transferred funds to cover Mizuhara's gambling debts. Mizuhara came to Ohtani and said, "Buddy, Shohei, I messed up. I got all this debt from gambling. Can you help me out?" Ohtani said, "Yeah, I got you." So Ohtani transferred money to cover Mizuhara's gambling debts. ESPN was about to do a story on this. Then all of a sudden, the spokesman comes out and says, whoa, no, that didn't happen. He denied the claim and said Ohtani's lawyers are going to make a statement. Ohtani's lawyers come out and said he was a victim of massive theft. Mizuhara said, I can't comment on the matter, but he did not say who told him he could not comment. He didn't say if it was his lawyer. He didn't say if it was Ohtani. He didn't say if it was somebody else. So then, continuing on, there's somebody else named Matthew Boyer that is involved. He is a bookmaker. He is the one who is being investigated in Southern California. So what happened was a wire transfer was sent from Ohtani's account to one of his associates. And Mizuhara said that Ohtani does not gamble and that he was just covering his financial losses from gambling. But then ESPN did some digging, and he said they have bank info that there are two $500,000 payments from September and October with Ohtani's name on it. Remember, sports betting is illegal in California. The ones regulated by the government, you have to pay up front. Well, if you're not doing that, that is not allowed in California. So now, apparently, they're saying Boyer, he dealt with Mizuhara, who apparently he bets on international soccer and other sports since 2021, for the last 3 years or so.
Yeah.
He does not bet on baseball. Thank goodness, because otherwise this would be even bigger than it already is. So, and you might say, look, wait, wouldn't the bookmaker feel weird that Ohtani's name was on the transfer? He knew his name was on the transfer, but he did not say anything because he knew who Ohtani was and figured that it would boost business. Because, like, oh, we got Shohei Ohtani involved in this? Oh my God, the face of baseball? That's great for business. According to his lawyer, he never met or spoke with Ohtani, which might be true. Who knows? Mizuhara then did an interview, and what he said was he asked Ohtani to pay off his gambling debts last year, which had reached $4.5 million. Mizuhara was $4.5 million in debt just from gambling. He said he placed them through Boyer because he thought they were legal. Why he thought they were legal, considering gambling is illegal in California, I have no freaking clue. He said he went to Ohtani and said, can you help pay off his gambling debt? Ohtani said he was not happy with Mizuhara, but he said that he would do it so that he would never, with the promise that Mizuhara would never do it again. But then Mizuhara came out and said Ohtani never knew about my gambling. So now we're hearing two different things. Now we're all confused. Then the federal investigation continued, and once they heard of Ohtani's wire payments, which happened in January, they started investigating, and they were able to confirm Ohtani's name was on those $500,000 transfers. And then eventually, Boyer had his home raided and the feds came in and raided the home. They took a bunch of stuff. They took money. They took casino chips. They took like a money counting machine. They took computers, hard drives, jewelry. They took some watches. They took some Louis Vuitton bag. They took everything. Phones. They raided his house. And then to backtrack, Mizuhara and Boyer met at a poker game in San Diego, which I believe is in the Southern California area, in 2021. And then Mizuhara started betting with him on credit, which of course is illegal in California, later that year. By the end of 2022, which is about a year after they had met, Mizuhara had already lost about $1 million, but at that point he was so addicted, he just kept doing it, and eventually his debt reached $4.5 million. And so apparently, Ohtani knowingly made the wire transfers. He did it from a computer while Mizuhara watched on and supervised. He put in the description of a transfer, he put loan, because Boyer said you have to put some sort of description or the transfer won't work, so he just put loan just to put something.
Just put loan.
he put loan. And Ohtani, when they asked Ohtani about it, he said he was a theft victim, which doesn't make any sense because he knowingly did it. He knowingly sent money to Boyer to help pay for Mizuhara's, because he couldn't pay his gambling debts. And you might think, well, why didn't Ohtani just give him cash? He just had a $700 million contract. Well, $680 he won't see for another 10 years, but still, he's very, very wealthy. He said because he simply did not trust Mizuhara with the cash. He was afraid Mizuhara would gamble it away. Which I can't really blame him. The dude has $4.5 million just in gambling debt.
Said that now?
What's up?
Ohtani came out and said he didn't trust Mizuhara with the...
This is... Well, that's what Mizuhara said. Mizuhara said Ohtani did not give him cash because Ohtani did not trust him with the cash. He was afraid he would gamble it away. But then Mizuhara comes out and completely contradicts himself and says Ohtani has no knowledge of his gambling debt, and he also said that he has no plans to pay me back, but Mizuhara said like that he promised Ohtani that. No, Mizuhara said like he promised Ohtani he would pay him back, but like he's now saying like that didn't happen. So that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. This is what I think happened. So I think Mizuhara went to Ohtani and was like, Shohei, I made a mistake. So I have a gambling problem. I've been doing it for a couple of years now. And I've racked up $4.5 million in debt. You know, I was doing it through this bookmaker named Matthew Boyer, who I thought was legal, and then now all of a sudden his operation is being investigated by the federal government. I just learned that what he was doing was illegal. It obviously it's illegal in California, which apparently he didn't. I don't know how he didn't know that. Can you help me out? Tony, I think, looked at him and said, "You're a freaking idiot, but so you don't do it again because you're my best friend and you're my interpreter and you're always helping me out and you're one of my best friends. I'll help you out." So he's like, "All right, you gotta wire this guy some money." No, well, I think he asked him like, "Hey, can you just give me some cash?" He was like, "Dude, you've lost $4.5 million in gambling over the last 3 years. I don't trust you with $1 million cash. I'm gonna wire this dude with money." So he wired the dude the money. But because Boyer was under investigation, it got flagged. They're like, "Wait, show me Ohtani's name is on these wire transfers." So obviously, ESPN, MLB finds out. Like, "Oh, wait, we need to investigate this." Doing it was what they say. What they're saying, I'm not sure if they're actually investigating because it's Ohtani. Then the federal government gets involved, and now like Ohtani's trying to backtrack, saying I didn't gamble, I was stolen from, which he wasn't, which I don't think is the case. And I think he told Mizuhara like say that like you stole from me because otherwise I'm gonna be in big trouble. So I think Ohtani did knowingly transfer money to this guy to help pay off the gambling of his interpreter and close friend. But once he was getting heat from the media, he's trying to backtrack to save his ass. That
Yes. So,
I don't think he was gambling. I don't think.
no.
I don't think he was gambling. I don't think it's like a Pete Rose thing. I don't think it's a Calvin Ridley thing or Keisha Butte thing. But I do think he sent the money. The whole reason is like if this guy wasn't under this guy Matthew Boyer wasn't under investigation, this wouldn't be that much of an issue, not as big of an issue. Because he's under investigation, there's a big federal investigation, and because sports betting is illegal in California, now look at shady, and now like Ohtani's trying to backtrack. Like he's not saying anything. He's saying he was stolen from, which doesn't seem like the case. And now you're like, dude, what are you hiding? So it's a whole thing. That's why this is so big. Also, because Ohtani is as big as he is.
Yeah. So my take has kind of two parts to it.
Okay.
So I think on the actual facts of the issue here, I think. I mean, this guy is Ohtani's translator. I don't know how Ohtani's English is to begin with, and I know this may not seem relevant, but I don't think it's good. Who knows how much access he would have had to give this guy for him just to do basic shit in the U.S. in English. I think people overlook this. Who knows? Like, he's his translator. He's going with him everywhere. He has unlimited access to pretty much anything of Ohtani's.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think the theft allegations are completely implausible. I think he very potentially has been helping Ohtani out with banking because he's had to.
Yeah, I mean, look, the guy in arbitration was probably making 30 million. Now he signs a deal where he's making $2 million a year for the next 10 years, but then he's going to get another 680 million starting in 2034. So he's getting all of his other money, plus he's got the sponsorships and endorsements that I'm sure he has. That's even more. Like, he's making more in endorsements than he is. Like, he's making $2 million a year. Like, he's making more than that in endorsements. I don't know what that number is, but I can guarantee it's more than $2 million. He's Shohei Ohtani, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
He also plays for the Los Angeles Dodgers. That also helps.
Yeah, and I think for a couple million to potentially go missing, you know what? I mean, it sounds crazy, but the guy is swimming in cash.
Oh, yeah, and, like, look, all these people with all this money, they all have their own people. They all have like they have top tier lawyers. They have spokespeople for them. They have people who handle their banking. Because you got young people getting handed millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, there's no way in hell Shohei Ohtani does his own finances.
No.
Absolutely
So if he had access to it, and he was in the pickle. He was like, who do I know who has $4.5 million? Oh, Ohtani! Yeah, let's just pull some money from his account. Yeah.
Yeah, it won't hurt him. But even if he did, even if the worst possible allegations that are being leveled at Ohtani are true, I honestly, he didn't bet on baseball, first of all.
No.
He did not bet on
that
baseball.
That did not happen, no.
He bet on, I think it was mostly European soccer.
Yeah, he bet on international soccer amongst other sports, but not baseball.
And I believe it was Colin Cowherd who said this when it all started. People are going to drink, smoke weed, and gamble. Nothing you can do about it.
Right.
And I think it goes into, this whole issue can be turned into a much broader issue about gambling and sports, and the way we treat it as a criminal act. I think that's incredibly problematic because it's first of all, the only one you're really hurting is yourself. It's a relatively victimless crime in the grand scheme of things, and you're just driving it underground. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not allow these people to bet? They're not betting on themselves. They're not betting on the he wasn't betting on the Dodgers. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares if Shohei Ohtani paid off his interpreters gambling? Gambling should be legal.
Cause yeah, like in RedBox, you're right. You're totally right. The problem is that one, gambling is illegal in California, and this is obviously this is happening in Southern California. And two, the guy that they were dealing with is under investigation with the federal government. That's the issue. If the gambling was legal in California and this guy was in investigation, maybe like because of how Ohtani is such a big figure, maybe this would be like a small thing, but it would not be this big. I would not still be talking about it all this time later.
It wouldn't matter. It would still be a big issue if gambling was legal in California.
It would still be an issue because it's like, oh, the whole thing is the possibility that Ohtani could have been gambling, his interpreter could have been gambling on baseball. That's obviously something that needs to be looked at. Like this, if Ohtani was gambling, that's the biggest scandal in sports history. I'm sorry, it's the biggest scandal in sports. That might seem bold.
That's the thing, though. I don't think it is.
Oh no, it's not because he's not. But if he was, that's the biggest scandal in the history of sports.
No, I don't think so. Because
no, if it's true, it's RedBox. It's not true, so that's why it's not. If he was gambling, if Ohtani was gambling on baseball, that's bigger than Pete Rose. What Pete Rose did would be child's play to this.
Okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying now, but
it's not going to get to that because that's not what happened. I'm saying if that was the case.
Ohtani, even if his interpreter was gambling or whatever on European, well, we know his interpreter was gambling, but even if Ohtani was gambling on European soccer, whatever, we've seen players in the NFL get suspended for gambling on other random shit. We've seen tennis players get suspended for gambling on matches that they have no say in. Why is that an issue? Why?
Yeah, I know the NFL's rule is you can't bet on the NFL. You can't bet on other sports in your team facility. That's why Jameson Williams got suspended. That's why he only got 6 games. Because he bet on another sport, but he was in the Lions facility. If he was like at his house and he bet like on like the Detroit Tigers to win or something, that's fine. You cannot bet on your sport and you cannot bet at all in your own team facility, which I think is stupid.
No, that's a dumb rule too, but I think we need to stop treating this as an issue. If Ohtani, if he was gambling on anything, that's his money to do what he wishes with it. He shouldn't be constrained, whether that be by the MLB or California state law, to do otherwise. My whole issue is not with this particular situation. It's the entire fact that it is an issue to begin with.
Yeah.
That we're even talking about this, honestly. Like, Ohtani bet on sports. Who cares?
Yeah, like, gambling's weird. Gambling can be a crippling addiction just as, like, alcohol or drugs can, but you can't harm anybody by doing it. If you have an alcohol addiction, there are ways where you can harm yourself and other people. If you get into a car, you could easily harm yourself and other people. If you are, doing, drugs to the point where it's very unsafe, you can harm yourself, and if you get into a car, you could harm another person. But if you're just gambling millions of dollars away, you'll hurt yourself financially, maybe your mental health might take a hit, but you're not gonna harm another person by doing that. But the addiction itself is just as bad. Like, you can still, like, it's still just as hard to stop as like alcohol or drugs. So that's why it's weird. That's why it's a slippery slope.
Oh, 100%. But my problem is, like, then legalize it like we do these other things. I mean, in Canada we have legal weed. I guess
right.
They don't down there. But,
which it is legal in most states.
But we have legal weed, legal alcohol. Like, make gambling legal, govern it.
Well, most parts it is legal. Just California is California.
And don't let players wrong team. I don't like. They want to. A player for the Dodgers wants to bet on the Yankees, Red Sox. I really don't see an issue with it. But
I don't think guys should be able to bet on their own sport. That's when you never know if a guy on the Dodgers is friends with a guy on the Yankees, and now that he calls him up, says, "Hey, I got you guys on the under," and he strikes out on purpose. It gets too close for me.
The Dodgers could just as likely be friends with a guy on the Kings or the Chargers. You know.
Well, like that's fine. Or I see what you're saying now. It's more likely though, like the different guys in their own sport to be friends, like being in the league together for a long time. Maybe they played together. Maybe they have. Maybe, one of them married someone's sister. So, but like guys in other sports, that's not as likely.
Yeah, and I think like just the fact that, I mean, yes, and first of all, before I say what I'm going to say, Ohtani is like the biggest player in base. He's
one
of the best, if not the best, two-way player we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
But the MLB, I think they probably will come down on him. The MLB is notoriously harsh with gambling related. I mean, Pete Rose still ain't in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
When there's no question he should be.
He got the most hits ever by any player ever.
And it was because he bet on sports.
Yeah.
And the MLB will drag people through the mud for the dumbest reasons, and I have absolutely no doubt in my mind they will do the same to Ohtani. If they can prove the facts in this case, I have no doubt in my mind they will do the same to Ohtani, and it will forever tarnish his reputation and probably his chances of getting in the Hall of Fame.
That might be true. The MLB Hall of Fame might. Those writers will look for anything to keep a guy out of the Hall of Fame, and now they have some intel this might keep him out of the Hall of Fame.
But I just think like we need to stop vilifying people also for just gambling. I mean, yes, this guy obviously had a problem. His interpreter obviously probably needed to seek some sort of professional help. But if Ohtani either wanted to gamble or wanted to help him pay that off to maybe, I don't know, get him back on his feet, and okay. So first of all, let's make what this guy in California is doing legal and state regulated, and second of all, it's his money. He can do whatever he wants with it.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, that is that is the whole thing of Ohtani. RedBox, that's all I got for you all today. Thank you, RedBox, for joining me. For joining me today. We had a great conversation, as we always do. Feel free to come back any time, but I'm gonna sign off now. Until next time. So long. Have a great day.